All right, Chris. Good evening. How are you?
Good, Yusuf. How you doing today?
Doing wonderful. Welcome back to our another episode in the Tax Layer series. I appreciate your time
Always a joy to be on here, Yusuf, and spreading knowledge about tax and how people can keep more of their money in their pocket.
and also make more money.
Oh, and make more money. Yes, indeed. I was having a conversation with a client, and they were asking me, "What can I spend money on to save tax?" And I said, "No, that's not the question. What can you spend money on now that will cut your taxes, but will allow you to increase your profits? Because the whole
Yep,
thing is to make you rich. So don't spend money for the sake of spending money. Spend it strategically."
absolutely. And as a matter of fact, for viewers, Chris is going to share that specific thing today with us. Chris has a wonderful thing to share with us today regarding maximizing your profit, but minimizing your taxes. And the way that we do with our people is helping them with our CFO consulting. And I will have Chris share his screen up.
All right, Yusuf, let me make sure that I can do this here.
Absolutely.
And away we go. So this is how to improve the revenue and profit in your business. All right. So business owners, you face five big challenges that face 90% of your small businesses. Challenge one, the business relies on the owner or it all falls apart. Now, Yusuf and I know about this. We started our business, it was all on us. Now, granted, we had a loving family around us, but when the rubber hits the road, it's on us. So we're the ones that we're going to be, as the older gentleman would used to say when I was working full time, chief bottle washer. And that was just being, you're doing everything.
As a
So,
matter of fact, I lost four businesses in US in 6 years.
wow,
I am in US for 6 years. I started in total seven businesses. I lost four. I made money on three.
wow. So that's probably because you were wearing all the hats, weren't
Absolutely.
you?
That's how I learned the hard way how to delegate and how to outsource. Trust me.
Ah, that's right. So you needed to spend your time on the things that you're good at and want to do.
Absolutely.
So there's things that I don't like to do that I delegate out, and I have people that help me with those. So I have them do it because I'm only smart to a certain extent. I don't know everything.
Absolutely.
Now, here's challenge number two. You're caught in a catch-22 situation. You can't grow your business without more money, but you can't get more money without growing your business. Now, you started this business to create the freedom of time and money. But when there's not enough profit, even if you're making some big top line number, which is your sales, it's not really the way out is to work harder and doing more yourself. But
Yep.
until you can remove yourself from the day-to-day operations, you're going to be frustrated and you're going to be the bottleneck. So that's something you need to think about. Challenge number three, the business owner doesn't have a simple way to understand what's working and what's not in your business. Now, Tusif and I are finance guys, so we cut our teeth on profit and loss, balance sheets, what have you. But we're accountants. See, these are the things that we know. We've been studying. I've been studying these for over about 35 years since I took my first accounting class back last century at good old George C. Marshall High School in Falls Church, Virginia. And I grew up with it around a dining room table because my dad was a CPA. So this is something I know. But business owners don't know this stuff. But that's okay because, like I said, with the challenge number one, you want to work on what you're great at and bring a team in to help you build the business with the parts that you're not that good at and not that interested in. So,
Absolutely.
with saying that, it's kind of hard to know exactly what's working and what's not by just looking at the profit and loss and balance sheet. And to make matters worse, the numbers people, like your accountant and bookkeeper, always seem to be speaking a foreign language. And they're not really paid to sit there and say, I put this, as I say in my weekly Weird Term Friday special, is put it in regular people talk. So they aren't paid to help you improve your profit and cash flow. They're there to report results. They're the scoreboard. They're not your quarterback.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, this happened to so many individuals. Like before today, I was speaking to a community member of mine. He has his own trucking business, a very small mom and pop, but he did not have any idea on how the bonus depreciation works since he owns his own property, own truck, and also how to write off his houses for expenses. And I actually gave him one of our previous episodes to see where we
Awesome.
told about all those kind of stuff. So a lot of the times people are like, "Hey, I don't know what to ask in the first place."
Yep. That's something I run into too. And it's really what I say to people is, look, anything that comes up, like you're out with your friends and you have this one friend who always has some cockamamie idea. It's an old time term. And you think, I go, well, would that work for me? So what you do is get on the phone with Tusafry and say, hey, this person says if I get an alpaca and use that in my business, I'll be able to save a lot of money on taxes. Is that true? So I've gotten a lot of alpaca questions, not necessarily alpaca, but those type of questions. And I've been happy to answer them because that's the fun thing. Tusaf and I are not going to judge you because you're asking the question. There's no such thing as a stupid question because we'd rather take care of it now than have to answer the IRS letter that's going to come if something weird happens.
Yeah,
So be not afraid of talking to Tusa Farai. We're nice guys and we want to help you. And one of the reasons, Tusif, is like you were talking about your client there, is that the business owner does not have any clear goals. They got in this thing, maybe they got laid off from their job and they're like, I will just start a business. Okay, that's great. So how do you know if you're making progress if you don't know where you want to go? And most business owners don't have clear and well thought out targets. And specifically, they don't have a clear targets for revenue, profit, and the bank account. And this is the
absolutely.
equivalent of getting in a car and driving to have a clear destination. You'll end up in the ocean, not the ocean you were headed towards either. You're going to waste a lot of gas and a lot of time.
Absolutely.
All right, challenge number 5. You do not have a clear path to follow to have a growing and more profitable business. There are thousands of things that a business owner could be doing in your business each day, but only a handful will make a difference. And in the scheme of things, only 3 things matter: revenue, profit, and cash. Once you know where you're going to and where we want to end up, you need to know how to get there. And most business owners don't have a solid plan of what to do or how to do it so that they can achieve their targets.
Absolutely.
So, we're going to start talking to you about 4 steps you can do to improve your revenue, profit in your business, and your cash. 1, you generate more cash than you spend. I know you're sitting there going, gee, Chris, that's some Nobel Prize level thinking there. Well, yeah, but sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees because you have everything coming at you. Like your client who has a trucking business, he's got to deal with a whole ton of stuff because it's not simply getting in your truck and driving. You got all kinds of regulations for fuel, how the trucks need to be set up, the weights they have. Everybody's seen those weigh stations. They kind of wonder, well, I wonder what that's like. So there's a lot happening, and you're just like, and your account comes to you and say, well, do this, and you're like going, oh, geez, great. You just gave me homework. That's exactly what I need. So,
As as a matter of fact, what we have been doing is helping people to set up on the profit first system,
yep,
where especially as you just mentioned that people are generating cash. The only thing is at the end of the day, they don't know where that cash goes, and they don't have
that
anything for them.
that's exactly right.
So that so instead of giving it to that weird goblin, what we have been pushing people to do is, hey, let's start take away a chunk even before the goblin touches.
Exactly. And I was on my Facebook group in one of the salon owner groups. I work with a lot of hair salons. And they're saying, I made all this money, but where'd it go? So they're just illustrating it's not what you make, it what you keep that matters.
Absolutely.
So every business owner must be focused on generating more cash from their business, not revenue, not profit. Cash is king.
Yep.
You generate more cash by ensuring that cash is flowing into your business faster than it's flowing out. Yes, I know, Nobel Prize level thinking there. But the problem is, it's not what traditional accounting reports show you. A traditional income statement has sales less expenses. This equals profit. That doesn't tell the whole story. Now, how many of you have gone to your accountant at the end of the year and they tell you how much you made your business and you've asked, where's the money? Have you ever gotten a good answer for that?
And this happens a lot of ways. Like I was talking to another individual who was grossing about 750 grand. And when I asked, well, how much do you keep for yourself? He's like, my accountant knows it. I don't know. I'm like, dude, you have to understand that if your accountant is like, I'm keeping all those numbers for myself. No, that's not what you should have been doing.
No, and you know what? That's something I run into a lot too, Sif, with a lot of people. They talk to me and they go, well, you don't talk like a normal accountant, you talk like a normal person. I said, well, the thing about it is that if you ever get afraid of the accountant, or as I say, if your CPA talks to you like you're stupid, it's time to fire the stupid CPA. Because keep in mind that, I'm going to see if I can find one here. Keep this in mind. Who's signing the check?
Absolutely.
You are. You are the boss. You are the CEO. I'm just a humble CFO. Yusuf's just a humble CFO and tax guy. We're here to serve. So never be afraid.
Absolutely.
Now keep in mind that once you make a profit, you still have to pay taxes, which Yusuf and I are trying to cut down on the amount you got to pay. Account for uncollected revenue because not everybody's going to pay you on time or ever. Pay down debt because you had to take on some debt to bring and just finance this stuff. And buying assets because you know what, like your truck driver client, he's probably going to need to buy more trucks or more parts to go into that, or a lot of other things.
Absolutely.
And you need to take out money for yourself. There's an old movie, Eddie Murphy, talking about, you know what, I got to get the Kung Fu Grip G.I. Joe for Christmas because my kid's asking for it. And if you don't know who G.I. Joe is, you're that's you're of a later generation.
You're probably too young. Let's make it.
You might, yes. We'll discuss G.I. Joe in a future episode.
That was one of my eating cartoon when I was a young guy.
There we go. All right. So all those things take cash. So like we said, it doesn't matter how much you make in your sales or profit. It matters how much you keep in cash. Cash is a true number to focus on. Now, again, every business owner must focus on generating more cash from their business, not revenue, not profit, cash. Now, all the answers are in your numbers, yet most business owners aren't looking at the right numbers. Okay, and like we said, you have a CPA and bookkeeper, and like Yusuf said with his client, he asked them, you know, how much did you make? He says, my accountant has that number. No, you should have that number.
Yep.
And again, they're not equipped to help you find the numbers that drive your profit or tell you what to do to move the needle.
Yep.
So you just need to focus on a few key numbers. We don't want to give you homework. Our job is to make you rich.
Yep.
Legally. So there are a few key numbers to understand that are preventing profit and creating cash leaks the most. We call these your drivers. Now, we're going to have some here that are going to be profit drivers. The more you sell, so the number of transactions, that goes up, you make more money. The average value of a transaction, so you're selling them more. Everybody's gone to McDonald's, and you know what do they ask you when you order? Do you want fries with that? They're not wanting to sell you fries because you look like you're a fry guy. It's because they want to make more money.
Yep.
Also, cost of sales. How much is it costing to make those fries? Payroll. How much is it costing to pay the people to make the fries and bring them to you? How much are you spending on marketing? How much are all the other costs that are going to play into what you're doing to bring home profit?
Yep.
Now, then we go to cash flow drivers. So your increase and decrease in what people owe you, that affects the amount of cash you have because not everybody's going to pay you on time, or some may even skip out on the bill. Increases or decreases the inventory balance, because sometimes you're putting a lot out for inventory that's going to sit on the shelf. You don't want to do that, but it's something that needs to be watched. If you buy assets, if you buy equipment, you buy trucks, you buy things to fix up your office to make it more pleasant to work in and more inviting to your clients. Increase and decrease in accounts payable, or the amount you owe people. If you can slow that down, you can hold on to your cash more. Increase, decrease in debt. It's how much money you're bringing in from debt and how much you're paying off, and how much you're investing or withdrawing. Yes, Yusuf, go ahead.
As a matter of fact, I remember the point number one, the previous slide, and the point number on this one, the point number what? Cost of product and the increase and decrease in inventory balance. I did not put my attention to these three, and I lost 3 businesses.
Yep. So
that's how key these are.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, is just watching it. So with the CFO service, we'll talk a little more about all this later, is that we're helping you focus on the things that matter. We're not going to sit here and tell you about, well, you know, you could, if you recorded this in this account, you might make things easier for you. No, you just want to know what's the score. We're recording this. It's Saturday, December 9th. We just had the Army-Navy game. Most people are looking up the scoreboard, seeing what's happening there. They're not seeing whether the left guard is getting his leg taped. Okay. My grandfather would have gotten into that. That's why he said he liked going to the games, because you could see what was happening. And he knew what it would mean for the entire game. But you don't need to focus on the left guard getting his ankle taped. You need to focus on these, and we're going to help you focus and build a system so that you can understand them.
And as a matter of fact, just out of closing that one out, is on a broad scale, these are your business KPIs.
Yes, indeed.
And when you are efficiently tracking and manipulating those key performance indicator, that's when you can differentiate a business that is decreasing or returning investment or multiplying exponentially. These are the things that's going to tell you the health of your business.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like your chart that you're going to look at and
blood
say,
sugar
what's
level,
your pulse, blood pressure, what's your pulse, blood pressure, and all this other stuff, medical terms that I have no idea. So the next step is you create targets for your cash flow. Now, there's a particular way to prevent failure. The first step, is to make cash flow your number one focus, not your sales or profit. Next step, we're going to set targets for the next year using those 12 drivers that we talked about for profit and cash flow. So how do you set those? Now, you're going to be a little afraid of these, but don't worry about it. We're going to help you with these. First, you're going to find out what you did for last year for each of the 12 drivers, and we have a system to kind of put everything in there and show it to you fairly easily. Then we're going to create realistic targets for this year for each of the 12 drivers. That's something that we work with you. It's not something we're going to just launch and say, this is what you'll do, because again, you're the boss, you're the one signing this. So you're going to tell us if it's okay with you.
Yep. And the fundamental aspect of us is not to make decisions for the business owners. We're just giving them options and consequences of each individual decisions.
Yes. Now, what it is, Tusif and I are kind of like Yoda, but we're each like over 6 feet tall, and we're not green, and we probably outweigh, but neither one of us can swing a lightsaber like Yoda did. But we'll discuss Star Wars on a future episode. So you're going to step 3 is going to be add up all the 12 driver targets to come up with your profit and cash flow for the year. And then we're going to ask you, do you like that target? And if you're saying, well, no, it's not going to get me the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip for my kid. We need to rework this. Okay, great. If it doesn't work, then we'll come back and we'll say, all right, what needs to change? Now, the big one is we've set a path there. We're going to start keeping score. And you can't win a game if you don't know the score. And today, Army beat Navy. They knew exactly what the score was. Sorry for the Navy guys. Okay, so here's the thing. You need to stop managing business by the seat of your pants and start managing by the numbers. It's something, it's going to be hard. Joseph and I have been business owners. Joseph said he's run a lot of businesses. I've had one in just various parts. You need to be stone cold with these and saying, what are my numbers telling me? And we're not sitting here telling you, okay, this is what you need to stop. You need to stop your business, what have you. It's taking a look and saying, here's reality. Let's see what we can change, what levers we can pull so that we can make you more profitable, have more cash flowing in. But if you start managing by the seat of your pants and it's based on your situation, it basically means you're the bottleneck. And everything has to go through you, and you can never have freedom in your business. And that's why you got started with this.
Absolutely. True financial freedom is pretty much replacing yourself.
Exactly. What I say to people, we talk about S corporations and reasonable compensation. I explain it like this. All right, if you're just to say, forget about it, I'm just going to go live on the beach in Tahiti with my spouse. How much do I have to pay somebody to take my place? So that's going to be the thing. Is Joseph and I have read. I'm assuming Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It's going to be just all right. So it's going to be creating assets to run the machine so that you can live the life that you want.
Absolutely.
And with this, the key is to build a scoreboard that tells you which levers to pull to increase the profit and cash flow. And the scoreboard allows you to do that, and it'll help you see what's preventing you from hitting your targets. A scoreboard also gives you an early warning system when things are going south so you can fix it quickly with no surprises. And will allow you to be the leader. You can sit there and you can have the scoreboard in front of you. You work with Joseph and I, and we can say, all right, here's what we're looking at, and we'll help you say, here are the action items, in which we're going to, again, be Yoda in this and help Luke Skywalker destroy the Death Star or kill Darth Vader, whichever movie that we're in. So you're going to go back to your staff and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. I am the leader, and therefore, this is what we're going to do. Instead of being an employee of your business, you are going to be the badass business owner.
Yep.
And the right scoreboard will suddenly free you up for all the work if it's going to work out this month, to knowing exactly where you stand day by day, week by week. There's a great Confucian saying. It's that once system comes into place, once the fundamentals are in place, system comes into being. So we're putting the fundamentals in place and allowing you to have a system so that you can rock and roll with this.
Absolutely. And to be honest, every business that grows on its SOPs.
Yes, it
The
does.
more concrete it is, the better and the bigger it becomes. Otherwise, whether it's a HVAC contractor or a nail salon or Chris's favorite alpaca business, everything, if you don't have an SOP, that business is not growing.
Exactly. And I spent a lot of time working in it was a Sarbanes-Oxley department. It was called internal control. And what my job basically was is I helped departments write their SOPs, and then I tested them to see if they were doing what they said they were doing in their standard operating procedures.
Awesome.
That's it. And it helped people. It took away stress because you knew exactly what to do in certain situations.
Yep.
So we're going to help you build that scoreboard around the 12 drivers and forecast where you think you'll end up by the end of the year. So now we're going to create an action plan. And like Joseph and I have been discussing, there are thousands of businesses that are stuck because they can't grow because they don't have the cash to reinvest in growth. And you don't have the money to hire more people and increase your marketing, buy adequate inventory, or buy adequate equipment. So you as a business owner get stuck, and you end up working harder and harder in a business, which is what you didn't want to do when you left the 9 to 5 and start building this business.
Yep.
And if you're working too hard, there's a problem. But business owners don't know how to fix it. So if you want to break through to the next level, you need a plan. And one of the most important steps that should need to be done this month to move closer to the profit and cash flow needle, closer to your target for the year. And we have something called the one clear path. So walking through this, we're going to step one, annually going to set targets. Then on a monthly basis, we're going to get your financial statements, put them in our system. We'll create a forecast saying, all right, this is where you are. This looks like where you're going to be. And then we're going to create this, use the scorecard, say this is where you are, and this is what looking like the levers you're going to need to pull. Then we're going to help you create objectives that you're going to work on and determine next step until the next meeting to see what needs to happen. Very simple. So your takeaway from this session is that there is a predictable way to grow your profit and cash flow. This will enable you to make more money in less time with less stress. Profit and cash flow growth is inevitable when you understand how to move the right numbers. So what we're going to have, you got these two good-looking gentlemen here. We can give you a free financial assessment. You have our information here, or just leave a comment and wherever you're seeing this saying, hey, we want to chat. We'll set up a right fit call for you to see where you are and see what we can do. So, Joseph, that's pretty much everything.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you presenting. Some of the things that I want people to understand is when we talk about needles and numbers, we're not only, since we have backgrounds in not only business operations ourselves, but also since we are bringing in the value from the tax perspective, we can creatively structure the same thing in a lot of different tax efficient way. And both of us having even insurance licenses, we can not only get you to in your business, but also creative ways to touch it so that you get preferential treatment on your taxes. Exactly. And there's never a one-way solution for everything. I have never seen a one-size-fitting all for all businesses. Yep. But the fact that we have experience in different industries, and I guess the way I have been hired in my W-2 as well, is to solve problems that other people are not very familiar with, or not very willing to solve. Exactly. And come up with ways that typically people does not want to touch. And that's where the biggest deal comes in. As a matter of fact, I was talking to another guy where we're trying to do some notes and stuff. And in a matter of minutes, he was thinking in a way, and I was like, hey, what if we change the cash flow? We broke the notes, sold it, sold some, kept some. And he was like blown away. Exactly. Because this is what Chris was mentioning is, hey, let's focus on the cash flow. And the way we actually did that cash flow was in a way that would also not have him pay taxes now, but it was going to be deferring the taxes. We're going to be touching it when we have enough depreciation, and we don't have to pay the tax eventually. So that's where it comes down to the aspects of make more, pay less in taxes, and get the proper setup. That's the value that you get with working with creative people like Chris and I. Of course, it's a shameless promotion, but I feel like there has been some situations in life that both of us have been, I would say, blessed to be coming up with solutions that a lot of other people have not been able to do.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, awesome. And this is kind of, Tusif and I are more like the MacGyvers. If anyone remembers a classic show, we'll take some aluminum foils, a paper clip, and a pen, and we'll make a nuclear bomb. I mean, not that we're making nuclear bombs, but you all get the idea. But it's the fun. What we like doing is finding ways to help and solving problems. And we that's what we want to do in this business. Because eventually we're going to leave this life, and we want to be able to sit back and say, yes, I made a difference in these people's lives, and allow business owners to have lives of their kids, be able to go out and coach Little League, to work, to volunteer for some great, and serve on boards of local nonprofits. There are a lot of great ones here that need some bright minds, and you as business owners have that great mind that can help them. So that's we're trying to help you make more so that you can give more back to your community.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I want to definitely mention a couple of individuals that we have recently started working with. This is a young gentleman, and uh, his situation in life is very interesting. Maybe I can bring sometimes on our shows to share his story. Is His main goal in life is to spend time with his grandparents. The issue is he has to pay the bills. So this is where the interesting thing comes in, is how can you pay the bills and still have the time? So that's where we come in. We come in, and our goal is not to get you to a job, but make you to a proper business owner. Because if you remember correctly on that Rich Dad Poor Dads, is employee E and S on the left quadrant are taxed highest because the S is actually a small business. Our goal is to leverage you to take you from S to B, where you become a big business owner, and eventually to I, so that, as Chris was mentioning, if you go to the beach, the business still makes money. The only difference between a B and I is in B quadrant, businesses leverage other human assets. And in I, businesses or individual leverage other physical assets. But remember, the biggest billionaires have been built in the B, but they have their income from the I, because the fact that you're being into the business, the purpose is to make the cash flow and not worry eventually about it. And that's what Chris has been mentioning as well. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Let's see if we are going to be able to help you out. You saw both of our contacts. Chris, anything else you want to add towards the last?
Nope. You are the owner of the business and the owner of your life. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And if someone, like I said, if your CPA talks to you like you're stupid, it is time to fire the stupid CPA.
And it is from a CPA though, so he's not coming up. He has the experience, he has the credentials to say that.
Yes. So I am harping on my brother CPAs, but there are a lot of great CPAs that I have worked with. But in any profession, you're going to have some bad apples. So, and there's some great CPAs who just want to help out. So you can find them. If not choose it for I, there are going to be other CPAs who can help you.
Absolutely. And the purpose of this entire show is, I understand that we're not going to be able to work with all 300 million people in US. It's not realistic for us, and neither it is practical. But when you go to work with your CPA, we want you to be educated enough to ask those questions. So when you do ask those questions, it's not that that CPA doesn't know. That CPA does not know that you need to know. You need to understand that perspective as well, so that eventually you can focus on your cash flow and you can still make a lot of, keep a lot of it. That's why we have started the movement of make more, keep more, and give more.
Exactly.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, Chris, sharing all those insights with us. I appreciate everyone who has been watching and who will be watching as well. If you have any questions, as usual, we will have our meeting link. Let's see if we can work together. With that, we will see you on the next one.
Have a